lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Today, something different. I'm going to take you to an estate sale. Now, you don't usually see me at estate sales because honestly, I don't go to them very often. But there is one today that's right on my route to some of my favorite thrift shops. So it's the second day, which means 30% off. I looked at the pictures. It's a mid-century house. There was some really nice mid-century modern things, but I am certain that my mid-century modern pals from this area already got there yesterday and wiped out the mid-century. So maybe there'll be some things for me from the 1920s, 30s, or 40s. We're going to check it out. So the thrift shops first, and then we'll be going to the estate sale. So come on, let's go. Hi, everyone. Well, I'm back in the car. I just left the estate sale. I was only in there for maybe 15 minutes or so, and I didn't film a whole lot. You're going to see in a moment what I did film, but I kind of want to tell you a little bit about my experience and the reason why I had forgotten that I didn't really care for estate sales. This is just a personal thing. And it's funny because I like watching other YouTubers who go to thrifts, who go to estate sales. Jeffrey goes to them a lot with Barb and Aaron, and I love watching them. So I'm not criticizing anyone or making passing judgment on anyone who goes to estate sales and films. As I said, I love watching them. But for me, I had an emotional reaction, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, in fact, I was in a really good mood and very excited. Couldn't wait to get to this estate sale because I haven't been to one in quite a long time. But when I got inside, this is just silly. Maybe it's because having lost my father a few years ago, and that's still being very emotionally raw for me, like it's right here. Can you hear it? I remember one time my dad and I went to an estate sale, and we didn't buy anything. I was much younger, and we came home and had lunch, and we were sitting there with my mother, the three of us having lunch. She didn't go, and my dad was not. He didn't share a lot of emotion, but he said that day to my mother, if anything happens to me, please don't ever have an estate sale. I don't want people, walking through my workshop and giving, 10 cents for an old coffee can of nuts and bolts or $1 for a screwdriver. He said, just donate it all, take it all to the church bazaar or whatever. But he had that emotional feeling, I think, of walking, of sort of invading a space. No, they're all just things, and things are things. There's something about, their lives were lived here. Families were created, and yes, I'm being corny and emotional and all that mess, but it's just, I can't help the fact that it hits me that way. And so I was pretty good until I got to the basement, and you'll see that. You're going to see the basement footage. And I walked over to a work table, workbench. And I know it sounds sort of crazy, but, I stood there at that workbench and I wondered, I could see myself sitting there, tinkering on an old radio or fixing an old clock. And my father used to do that. My grandfather used to do that. I come from a long line of tinkerers. And I just sort of, I could imagine, there's a woman upstairs in the kitchen, and the meatloaf is ready, and how many times did she yell down those kitchen steps, Henry, get up here, the meatloaf's getting cold. I I know, it doesn't make any sense. It's goofy, it's weird, it's dumb. You're there, it's a business. Come on, you don't know these people. It's just stuff. They're great prices. Buy things for profit, okay. But I just can't. It's hard for me to do that in someone's home. And again, please, I am not. I wish I didn't feel that way. And great for those who really can go to those estate sales. But I just can't do it. So I will enjoy watching everyone else on YouTube who can. So anyway, enough of all that. You didn't tune in to hear me ramble on and on and on about why I don't buy from estate sales, or why it's kind of somewhat difficult for me to buy from estate sales. You know, maybe I'll try it again in a few months and see if I can, not be so silly about it. But in the meantime, I'll leave the estate sales to everyone else.
Lonely I wander through scenes of my childhood. They call back to memory those happy days of yore. Gone are the old folk, the house stands deserted, no light in the windows, no welcome at the door. Here's where the children played games on the heather. Here's where they sailed their wee boats on the burn. Where are they now? Some are dead, some have wandered. No more to their homes shall those children return. Lone is the house now, and lonely the moorland. The children are scattered, the old folk are gone. Why stand I here like a ghost and a shadow? 'Tis time I